And that story concerns India's conflagration at the LAC with China. Now, viewers, India's decision to stand its ground in the face of Chinese muscle flexing at the border seems to have at least paid off for now. The dragon has somehow decided that it is going to soften its stand. It has sounded very conciliatory, and viewers, it has issued a statement to say that yes, it is in favor of dialogue and it doesn't want to escalate any matter on our borders so that we end up in some sort of a confrontation. In fact, it has stressed upon peace. Listen to this reaction from the Chinese envoy to India, who suddenly out of the blue came out and said that, look, China is going to very, very clearly push for dialogue and peace. Listen to this.
The youth of our two countries could realize the importance of developing China-India relations and deepen your understanding of the important consensus reached by our two leaders. We should adhere to the basic judgment that China and India are each other's opportunities and pose no threat to each other. We need to see each other's development in a correct way and enhance strategic mutual trust. And we should correctly view our differences and never let the differences shadow the overall situation of bilateral cooperation. And at the same time, we should gradually seek understanding through communication and constantly solve differences.
There you go, viewers. Now, earlier, Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, came out and said, strengthen training of troops and prepare for war. He was being so bellicose, viewers. And now, Zhao Lijian, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson, and of course, you heard Sun Weidong, the Chinese envoy to India, both saying both countries can resolve issue through communication channels, lowering the temperature, overtly lowering the temperature. Now, Times Now has learned that it was all made possible, this climb down on the part of China or its decision to strike a conciliatory tone was made possible by the same team that handled the Doklam crisis. And we are talking about Ajit Doval, the National Security Advisor. We are talking about General Bipin Rawat, and we've made a special graphics for you, viewers, that explains the roles. The tactic was high-altitude warfare troops positioned to counter PLA aggression. These three individuals advised the Prime Minister that the time has come to stand firm on the soil of our country. Specialized Indian troops were deployed to prepare for any eventuality. And of course, viewers, as we look further on that graphic, China's plan to stare down India into submission was therefore countered because they suddenly realized that the Indians are going to go nowhere. We, in fact, held the ground, and at the same time, we opened the back channels. We began diplomatic engagement. We also weaved in other powers globally to begin to put pressure on China, and that is precisely what happened. But viewers, all of this came at a time, all of this U-turn by China, the sudden decision to strike a conciliatory note, or the sudden decision by China to succumb to international pressure, all came at a time when a group of known Modi baiters questioned his approach, called him a weak prime minister, and also mocked India's army, saying that they're not capable of it. Tauntingly, they said we should send the RSS and the hotheads. This is what was said by people like Prashant Bhushan. RSF chief said He can ready an army in 2-3 days. Will it show its valor at China border in Ladakh, as if the Indian army is not capable? This is Prashant Bhushan for you. Rahul Gandhi, of course, Modi government must come clear on what is happening at the border with China and Ladakh. And remember, this is the same Congress party that muzzled its own leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, saying, how dare you take on China? If you remember, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary took on China when this crisis erupted, saying, mind it, China, withdraw from this position. India is not the India of 1962. And they made him withdraw. The Congress party made their own senior leader withdraw that statement. But they will keep putting the onus on our government. Not one statement has gone out condemning the Chinese. What holds back the opposition? Why don't they come out and expressly condemn the Chinese? Srivats, a Congress leader, said 5,000 Chinese soldiers are sitting on Indian soil. Modi's diplomacy is a big flop in our neighborhood. Srivats, why didn't you ask China what it is doing on Indian soil? Why should it be there? And how dare it encroach on Indian soil? And why didn't the Congress party pass a resolution asking China to withdraw its territorial aggression? Didn't do it. Why? I wonder why. It's very strange, viewers, because in the past, other opposition parties, when the UPA was in power, were aggressively attacking the countries that were causing the problems. Today, we have a situation where on diplomatic issues, when we are dealing with foreign governments, your own political parties are playing politics. And why should this be on national security? I want to open this out, and I want to go straight across to Sushant Sareen and also Ajay Shukla. Ajay Shukla, if I remember correctly, you were busy tweeting how there were 10,000 PLA troops on Indian soil, or maybe even more, I don't know. But you seem to have intelligence suggesting that we were being overrun and overwhelmed. Do you think that was wise? Mr. Shukla, if you can hear me?
Well, yes, I can hear you very well. Are you sort of in possession of any intelligence that says that Chinese troops have withdrawn from Indian soil? I am not aware of any such withdrawal yet. A Chinese statement has been made.
I haven't said that they withdrew, Mr. Shukla. You're confusing issues here.
Oh, you seem to be implying
don't put words in my mouth. One second. I only said very clearly that other political parties should have called upon China, the Congress, the left, the other opposition parties, to withdraw their aggression. They are only diluting their stand. They are saying that we are going to resolve this not through fisticuffs and intimidation and through military means, but through dialogue. I'm sure you would support that, would you not? Or do you want a full frontal escalated war?
No.
You would, right?
I absolutely.
But I want to ask you, why were you today? I'm asking you, sir. Please let me come back to my question, please. I want to ask you, why did you put out a tweet which would only have served to demoralize our armed forces and our government, that there were a huge bunch of troops amassed at the border? What physical proof can you adduce to underwrite that claim, sir?
The same proof that you seem to be adducing to sort of reach the conclusion that the Indian army was demoralized by my tweet. The Indian army is aware of Chinese incursions and Chinese goings on the border without having to.
I want to ask you, sir, why did you come out with an outlandish number of troops? I'm only asking you a specific question. On what basis did you make this calculation? I want to show you certain satellite pictures, and the person who supplied us these satellite pictures contradicted you, saying that you don't know what you're talking about. So I'm asking you, sir, was it responsible of a commentator who is thought to be not very well disposed to the Modi government to be making claims like you did, sir? I'm only asking you a simple, straightforward question. Was it responsible under the circumstances?
I'm answering your simple, straightforward question, saying that I reported a figure that I stand by even today. Even as we speak right now, there are the same number of Chinese troops on Indian soil.
And how many were those? Can you clarify to the media? Can you clarify to Times Now as well as our viewers who may not know or may not have seen your tweet, sir? What is the number?
10,000.
10,000.
10,000, sir.
10,000. Viewers, you heard that. 10,000.
Yeah.
Now, experts who've looked at the satellite maps point towards a certain
No
number.
experts have looked at the
Allow me,
satellite map.
allow me,
This is some
allow me,
guy
sir.
who has
Allow me,
interpreted those
allow me,
satellites.
allow
I
me,
have
allow
interpreted
me.
those same satellites
Nathan
photographs.
Roos, who works for the ASPI, has assessed the claims that were made by Mr. Shukla and told him that there could not be more than 2,000 troops present there. Why inflate the Chinese number? Why make the Chinese dragon look like a diplodocus? I can't understand that. Like some megalithic,
Are you going to
monstrous
give me a chance to reply?
dinosaur.
Or are you only going
Why?
To, are you going to only ask questions, or are you going to give me a chance to reply?
I'm here to ask questions in case you forgot.
Okay, so and I'm here to reply in case you've forgotten.
Tell me. 10,000
The
troops?
same number, the number that 2,000 troops that your so-called analyst has assessed is in one location. The Chinese have come in 5 locations.
Right.
Everybody knows that. Every reporter has reported that.
Okay.
You seem to be the only person who seems to be assessing
Okay.
that there is only one ingress point.
Right. Okay. Let me bring in Sushant Sareen. 10,000 or more troops are staring us down. We are running under tables and chairs here in New Delhi. We are feeling the heat. We don't know what has hit us. Only Rahul Gandhi as Prime Minister could have saved us. Only Manmohan Singh's government could have actually thwarted this. That's what we are being told. Sushant Sareen, you're an expert. How do you assess this?
Look, Rahul, here's the thing. I don't think anybody, none of the reporters who are reporting from it have been to that particular place, just like I haven't. So, this whole source-based news which is being leaked, I think these reports were highly exaggerated, because I also spoke to people at the top levels, not just in the government, but also in the army, not just in the headquarters out here, but people who are posted in the top position in the place where all this is happening. My reports were completely different from what Ajay and some of the others were hearing. Now, now this is the problem with the source-based news. It's my source versus your source. And very clearly that something was happening was, of course, very clear. But was there some kind of an invasion taking place? When you say they've moved into Indian territory, I think the satellite imagery also disproved that. The other thing was that there have been this, it's also become a cliche by now, of differing interpretations of where the forces on all sides are actually based. Now, on that basis, if you start, claiming that they walked in, we have been bloodied, there's been a technical invasion of India, I think these were highly exaggerated reports. When you speak to the top officers who were on the ground, I think they were very, very confident that nothing of the sort was happening, nothing of the sort would happen. And that their resolve and their restraint was very visible, in the sense that when you spoke to them. So, frankly speaking, I think these kind of reports, the mistake which the government has made, and on that, I think that is something which this government really needs to look at, is its strategic communications. When some reports come out, whether they are source-based, whether they are right, wrong, whatever, every report has a life of its own.
Sure.
And a report which
But
is
that
very
doesn't give
sensational
license to
tends
people to speculate
but here is the
irresponsibly
thing.
and to
Yes,
fill
but
in
the government
gaps.
should come and shoot it down. Why does
Fair
the
enough.
government do it?
You
I
can
think
come
the
and
reason
shoot
why
it
they
down,
don't do
but
it
that
is
still
because they don't
doesn't
give a
give
damn what we
responsible
say.
individuals. And therefore, I'm asking, are they playing to some sort of a plot? Because it certainly makes me think so. General G.D. Bakshi is also here with us. General Bakshi, I mean, I only go by what I see. Here is Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, no fan of Mr. Modi, but even he develops the spine to attack China in no uncertain terms. His party leadership is on record, ticking him off, asking him to delete his tweet, and the Congress party distances itself from Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary's tweet. And what was he tweeting? He was telling China to mind it, to behave itself, that India will not be cowed down. What does the Congress owe the Chinese Communist Party that it can't bring itself to attack it, to tell it that, look, you are doing the wrong thing?
Rahul, I would like to state very unequivocally that in any mature democracy, there is a bipartisan consensus when it comes to issues of national security. When you are facing up to the over there, the primary security challenge, then you have to be on the same page because the country's security is involved. We have been seeing a distressing trend of the opposition parties more or less acting like spokespersons of either China or Pakistan wherever there is a problem, casting slurs, casting aspersions at the army military hierarchy, at the political leadership at a time of crisis. You want to fight it out, slug it out, by all means, please go right ahead before the elections, in the elections, etc. But at a time when the country is facing a challenge, and I think we've done a damn good job. Rahul, we have stared the dragon down. We have made him aware, the Chinese quite aware of the fact that it is their military strategy teaching which tell them to focus on one strategic direction at a time. Their main strategic direction is towards Taiwan, South China Sea, East China Sea, and they have suddenly realized that they have turned a hornet's nest, by suddenly trying to browbeat India. They did it because, their poodle here in this region, Pakistan, was pleading with them to take the heat off them.
Yes.
They were very worried that they would get Indian counter-strike a la Balakot after what happened at Handwara. They went crying to their uncles in Beijing, and Beijing responded by this show of force.
There you go.
It's been hoist with its own petard. Rahul.
And there is not even a word coming out of the opposition that even halfway credits the government. Now, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, India is punching way above its weight when it's dealing with China. I don't think I need to tell you, we don't have to demystify that. We know the imbalance in this relationship. And it takes resolve. It takes a huge amount of determination. And I have to credit today our armed forces who are standing at that border, staring down an enemy that has been able to tame every other force within 800 kilometers and miles of it, off the Pacific Rim and South China Sea. This is not an easy but very risible enemy. And what do we get? We get statements like this. Let me read to you these statements. Weak Modi scared of Xi, silent as China acts against India. Third, China rebuff. Muscular diplomacy, question mark. Hope the 56-inch strongman has a plan on Doklam. What are you signaling to the Chinese government, that you are not united, that Modi doesn't have the political elbow room to stare China down? It senses weakness, it'll come after you. Isn't this irresponsible?
No, it is irresponsible, but it is entirely predictable. This has been happening for the last 6 years, but I have one question to those people who are, bringing down or saying that India is not acting fast enough. In the last 6 years, has there been an inch of Indian land that the Chinese have taken permanently? There hasn't. They may come into our territory, we may go into their territory, because the LOC we say is 3,500 kilometers long, they say is 2,000 kilometers long. It's a border dispute. But is it true that the Chinese have taken even 1 inch of land in the last 6 years? And if they haven't, then who has been successful? It is a simple answer from a layman. And let me tell you, Rahul, these maneuvers being conjured up by China are actually to distract the world from its corona villainy. I'm sorry to use this harsh word, but that is what it is. It is corona villainy. And only the Chinese and some of its Indian assets believe otherwise. They wanted to embarrass India into acting against China at a time when we are dealing with our own problems. And I am really pleased that our leaders, military or otherwise, haven't bitten this silly bait, further irritating these assets, many of whom are in the media, fattened by periodic paid Chinese infomercials and central press advertisements. Let me remind you that these same sickle ninjas have been totally silent on Chinese concentration camps that house more than 1 million Uyghur Muslims. Anyhow, from a layman's perspective, here is where we stand. We have a disputed boundary with China thanks to who else but the Brits. And this LOC, as I said, according to us is 3,500 kilometers long. China says 2,000 kilometers long. In this thing called Pannon So, Ladakh, there is a lake and the LAC runs through it. Where the Indian boundary ends in the lake water and where the Chinese one begins is disputed. So this is what has led to border skirmishes. This lake is tactical because in the Chushul approach from where the China launched the 1962 offensive.
Yes.
Meanwhile, another problem that China has, that we have been strengthening our border infrastructure over there. We have just completed the 255 kilometer long DSDBO road. But this is in our territory. So facing an uncertain future where the West is angry at China for ruining the world economy, battling eternal troubles, Hong Kong, Taiwan, US trade relations, clearly the Chinese are rattled. The dragon has lost its fire in the Game of Thrones. बस यहाँ वो dragon की छिपकली छोड़ जाते हैं इंडिया में, जो कि तिलस्ती रहती है.
Well, very well put, but let me very quickly point out the records. Okay, these are facts, viewers. You can go and check them. 1962, Prime Minister Nehru believed in Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. The fallout was 20% of our land was wrested by China, Aksai Chin. PM Nehru gifted the UNSC seat to China. Till date, India seeks permanent membership. In 2009, UPA watched as China shielded Azhar, and we are talking about Masood Azhar, the terrorist, at the UNSC. The fallout is it took 4 failed bids for China to concede. Finally, in 2019, it happened under the Modi government. Digvijay calls, however, this is Congress senior leader, General Secretary at one time, close confidant of Rahul Gandhi. Digvijay called the blacklisting of Maulana Masood Azhar. There's no big deal. No big deal. But it was actually a massive coup for India as we rallied international support. Rahul met the Chinese envoy amidst the Doklam crisis, viewers. Didn't even inform the government. And he then was speaking about Doklam, saying, let me see if Modi has a 56-inch chest or not. So you just look at the disparity there. Congress overplays the Chinese threat amidst the Ladakh standoff right now, creates pressure on center to bow to Chinese aggression. And what do you have now? Situation. The Chinese are conciliatory. I want to ask you, Mr. Desai, on the back of this, whose record is better at defending our territorial integrity, sir, when it comes to China?
You know, Rahul, I have a completely different take on this. I think this is all an orchestrated thing to take the heat off of the government, who's completely failed at handling the COVID crisis through the 4 lockdowns.
The pictures of all these poor migrants walking the streets and being killed by trains, a woman dead with a 2-year-old baby on the platform. So this is just to detract and divert attention from all of this. I don't give even a iota of credibility to any of this information that you are taking chapter and verse, making everybody feel like these are
so this is a fixed match between Xi and Modi to deflect attention from...
These are not the views of experts. These are not the views of diplomats. These are the views of propagandists. That's what this is. Propaganda, pure and simple and completely devious.
You're also calling your friend and ally Ajay Shukla a propagandist. Okay, Ajay Shukla, you part of some big deal? I mean, this is an advisor to the Congress party. So Ajay Shukla, I want to ask you, are you part of some big propaganda Goebbelsian enterprise between Xi and Mr. Modi to play up a crisis in Ladakh and talk about incursions and 10,000 troops and this and that so that you can give Mr. Modi the breather he needs supposedly on mishandling COVID outbreak in this country? Are you part of this? Many questions.
No, I'm not part of it, but I can see that there are many people who are part of some kind of conspiracy. And I'll tell you what that is. Just like Pakistan, at the time of the Balakot strikes, at the time of the surgical strikes, nothing happened. Nobody came in. No Indians came in. You're behaving like the Pakistanis, where they're standing over here and saying, no, the Chinese never came in. Our problem at this point...
Who are you talking about? When you say you're behaving, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about you and your panelists,
Okay.
many of them.
You're talking about me.
That the Chinese never came
Yes,
in.
you.
The Chinese
Yes,
never
you.
came
What are
into
you talking
India.
about?
What devious? How
You are
devious?
Ajay
going around and
Shukla,
downplaying
you know,
this crisis.
Ajay Shukla,
You are
you're a
downplaying
man
this crisis.
who knows, at least supposedly knows, how the situation is there
you should be a
on that
person who
border.
supposedly
Can you
knows
say
when
anyone
Chinese
came in
10 seconds.
when a
insurgent
territory is
in this
disputed?
country?
Tell me, when the lines are not set in stone, how do you know where anyone is in any case? But we've always
Because
said
the
that these
Chinese
are...
have
No, one
lost their
second.
own
What
slave
the pictures
line.
that we are showing
So
you
that's exactly
are of
the
Chinese
Pakistani
camps
position,
spotted near the
Pakistani
LAC.
ploy that you're taking, which is that the Chinese have not come in. Who said the
Oh,
Chinese
the Chinese have not come in. The Chinese have not come in. Viewers, look at this. Look at the way the LAC is redrawn according to the convenience of some of our pro-Congress, anti-Modi panelists here. Sushant Sareen, will you please educate some of these individuals and explain to them that the LAC is not defined. And when the LAC is not defined, you can have different claims. You can actually be in each other's territories, but you won't know it because the LAC is not defined. You only have a notion of where it should be, but it's not been defined.
So you're turning around and saying we don't know where India ends and where India
Rahul,
Isn't that a fact?
Tell that to Ajay. Ajay knows that better than anybody else. My only issue with Ajay is that I think his reports were rather exaggerated. And again, I think this is a peril which you run when you are doing source-based reporting. Sources tell you something. My sources were saying something completely different. So the point is,
well, maybe it didn't speak to the sources. Maybe it picked it up. That could have also happened. You know, if you're all talking about Gobelsian propaganda, then we are going by what we are seeing. These are satellite images. They talk back to us. Pictures don't lie. General Bakshi, I have a sneaking suspicion today that there is an agenda that is being pushed, and I don't know what the motivation is. I have seen how the Russians have influenced public discourse in America. I won't be surprised if the Chinese are adopting Cold War tactics to influence the discourse in this country. I won't be surprised at all. General Bakshi.
Rahul, you are absolutely right. One of the primary modus operandi of intelligence agency is to influence the discourse. In any democratic dispensation, you have the opposition, and somehow the cleavage and the bitterness between opposition parties in democratic entity is now reaching an amazing level. Even in the United States and as far back home, perhaps the antagonism between the political parties is far more intense than across horizontal borders.
Okay.
Within the state itself, this is becoming like that. And quite obviously, the easiest thing for an enemy intelligence agencies, including the ISI, you would be amazed. That's small time,
there are so many interlinkages. This is so murky, sir, the way espionage works. Who knows who is compromised, who isn't compromised? I just hope that what we're seeing is not what it is, actually. That all these people are speaking from their heart and not because they're motivated to say something because someone perhaps is putting pressure on them to say something. I just hope that that's not the case. I hope that the Congress party that ticked off Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary for standing up for India is not beating to some insidious drum. Maybe even a Chinese insidious drum. I just hope that's not the case, because if that is the case, God helps us. God really help us.